Hey, I was just thinking, maybe this show we do something different. Maybe it, not suck.
And now, broadcasting from the hatchback of a 72 Ford Pinto, it's the Nice Guys on Business podcast. Need an education on how to grow your business? The Nice Guys are here to help. Learn about great customer service, networking, and how just being nice can help you prosper. Now, here are your hosts, Doug Sandler and Strickland Bonner.
Recording.
Hey, Nice Guy community, welcome back. Welcome back. This is our third episode, our fourth episode for the week, technically, but our third Nice Guys with myself, Mr. Strickland Bonner, and Mr. Doug Sandler on the other side of the microphone, and I am still in Las Vegas.
Hey, everybody. Hey, I have not had a chance to check this recently, but last we looked, I think we were downloaded in something like 140 countries.
Crazy.
I can't even pronounce most of them, but as you all know, a Nice Guy community, we did exceed 30,000 downloads last month. This month, we will be over 150,000 downloads. Strickland, what is it going to be like when we get to 1 million downloads?
1 million downloads.
You know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. You know, right?
What? I don't know. We're going to do a millionth download episode?
No, I'm not saying that. Yeah, we should do something like that.
Sure.
That's a pretty big. I mean, I'm not trying to ring our own bell here or anything, but that is a pretty big landmark to attain. I want to talk just for a second before we get into the promise statement and all that. We really have not pushed enough the amazing landing page that the Nice Guys on Business podcast has.
It's kind of cool. It is cool.
It's everything that you wanted to know about the podcast in one fun, easy to get to spot. It's just niceguysonbusiness.com. Very easy. Strick, we got to put a link in the show notes. We have to remember to do that. We always say we're going to do it, and we just don't do that.
Have I not been putting links to the Nice Guys? Oh boy,
sorry.
Maybe I haven't. No, you may be right.
I am not blaming you. If I came across that way, I apologize.
No, you may be right. Hey, you got to keep me honest.
Trying to be better at building relationships, especially since this was the relationship themed week that we had.
Right.
But are you yawning? Are you tired?
What?
I thought you were yawning.
No.
I think you were.
That was the end of the last episode. Maybe the end of this one I'll do the same, but not yet. No.
So, go to the niceguysonbusiness.com, or it's actually called niceguysonbusiness.com landing page, and you'll see all the great stuff. It'll be a link to our Become a Funkin' Fan t-shirt. You want to make sure you get a t-shirt if you have not already done that. We are in a pre-production phase right now. If we can sell a few of these, we actually will print them for you. We can't print them until someone buys one. I'm not going to print them just so Strick and I can have 30,000 shirts.
Yeah, but they're really cool.
They are really cool, but how many shirts can you wear, especially if they're not all in your size?
Okay, I guess you're right.
One of the other things that's on there, and I think we've done a pretty good job with this also, is we've done a great job of prospecting for people to advertise on the Nice Guys on Business podcast. As a matter of fact, hey, did we do a commercial for Mantra Munchies last episode?
We did, absolutely.
We did?
You didn't even remember?
I don't. I love them so much that I forget when we do them. You know that, right?
Oh, I know. They're so tasty.
I mean, have you tried it?
Does that mean it's time to do another one right now?
No, we should.
Are we into our ad for?
Yeah, we may as well. I think Kendall would be rather happy if we don't break up the entire commercial with all of our other banter.
You think? I mean, we typically do that, but we don't have to do that today. Mantra Munchies. Go to mantramunchies.com. Incredible snacks, incredibly healthy, incredibly tasty. You know, healthy does not have to be tasteless. It is unbelievably good. The ones that we prefer the most, that would be the cookie dough creations. You just basically a little ball, you pop them in your mouth. And they're so good. And there's no sugar, there's no artificial flavors, there's no artificial anything. It's gluten-free, dairy-free, organic, raw ingredients. And some of them are vegan as well.
You know, I know that all moms don't think their kids are ugly. Okay, right? All kids don't think their kids are ugly. But I have to tell you something. Mantra Munchies, the cookies, especially the cookie dough creations, they are not pretty. But
Oh yeah, it's true. No, they're not really pretty, but it doesn't matter. They taste so good.
Even a mother would say these are ugly.
But they taste so good. It doesn't matter.
They do. Hempy fudgy brownies, chia chocolate coconut clusters, goji oat cookies.
Well, the goji oat cookies, and again, not even great names like the goji oat cookies. I mean, it sounds like something like I don't know what it sounds like.
We got to talk to.
It doesn't matter. They're really good.
You know, the only one that actually does have a really good name, in my opinion. I mean, they are very good and they taste wonderful and they are good for you too. Of course, those are important things. But the ones that I like the best, the Nice Guys Richer edition of the Cookie Dough Creations, the Goji Oat cookies. If they could get rid of the Goji Oat beginning of the name and just call it the Nice Guys Richer, I think it would be great.
Yeah, but you know, we're not like their. I mean, we're advertisers, you know, but we're not doing like their marketing. I don't want to teach them how to run their business. But
how about like chocolate goodness or fudgy wudgy brownies? I know you throw the word you throw the word hemp in front of anything. It just doesn't sound right.
And you may be right. You may be right.
Kendall, maybe we should talk about this. I think we're going to need to raise our advertising rates because if we're not selling any cookies for you, it's not because we're not doing a good job on the advertisement, because I think that Strick and I are doing a bang up job when these things are actually really good. People, go to mantramunchies.com. Just click the buy now button and you will be delivered to this area. It's just like heaven. Okay. They might not look good and the packaging's okay.
Okay, so now you're going to complain about the way they look and you're going to complain about their packaging as well.
Ridiculously good. And they are good for you too. Just mix, roll, and eat the You Make No Bake dry mixes. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that. I'm going to become my own Betty Crocker.
Yeah,
see, they should use. Are they allowed to use the name Betty Crocker? Do you think they should use that?
You know, hopefully they're going to get big enough that Betty Crocker actually sues them and says they can't use them anymore, right?
So, super foodify your everyday in a fun and easy way. See, I think when Kendall actually sent us all of this copy, she thought we were going to be able to rhyme all these things. Susan, don't give up your job as a chemist. Susan, did I say Susan? I meant
you
Kendall.
Did. Mantra Munchie. You're thinking of sweetjumpsuits.com. Mantramunchies.com is all you need to know. You can go there and order and tell them the Nice Guys sent you.
Excellent. All right, let's get back to what were we talking about before? I just, every time I get hungry, I think of Mantra Munchies.
Oh, I know, right?
They're so especially good. The hempy fudgy brownies. Oh God, they're so good.
They're so good. So we were talking about
what were we on? I don't even remember.
Nighttime and sleep habits.
No, that was yesterday's show, I think. Was it?
I don't even remember.
I don't remember. We were
landing page, the landing page. Here we go.
Oh, yeah. So make sure you want to go over to the landing page. It's very cool. And you can get information about how to advertise on our show as well. If you want a great ad like we've just done for Mantra Munchies, you definitely want to check out the Nice Guys landing page, niceguysonbusiness.com. We've talked about relationships the entire week. I think it's really important. And Strick, you actually are good at this because I don't know if I've ever done this because usually I'm just fired. But how do you properly leave a job?
Ooh, that's a good question.
You know, is it the let me give you 2 weeks notice, or is it the let me give you the resignation letter, or do you lead in with the I need to talk to you kind of speech? Where does it go?
Well, it's tough. It totally depends on the situation. I mean, you know, it depends on why you're leaving. It depends on if it. Yeah, I
assume that you're leaving.
There's no good answer to that.
Let's assume you're leaving for a better opportunity because. Most of the people in the Nice Guy community, I just can't imagine them getting fired. I see a lot of people it could happen, but I think it would be like, not necessarily their fault. I think it's I'm not saying that everybody is an angel in here, but I would say that most people leave because they are going for better opportunities. Do more people get fired or do more people leave their job?
Probably more people leave, I would think. And I think the one big rule, the important one that really goes overall anytime you're leaving a job is don't burn the bridge, because you never know when you're going to need a reference. And just because you're leaving a job doesn't mean that they're going to hate you or they're going to give you a bad reference. So you want to make sure and be straight with them and be nice and basically tell them why you're leaving. That may even open up a discussion. Maybe you're leaving because of money, and maybe, who knows, that may mean they want to keep you around bad enough that they will offer you more money. You never know.
So are you thinking, do you make sure it's really hard because as soon as you tell your boss or somebody that's your manager or that you work with that you're not happy, it's almost like it's over, and now you now have let the cat out of the bag. It's like you have to have done all of your homework before you even drop that shoe.
You cannot unring that bell.
Yeah, once that bell is rung. So, Nice Guy community, if you are listening to this and you're thinking about leaving your job, let's talk about a couple of important things to do before you actually leave your job. Let's talk about priority number one. Make sure you have another job to go to.
Yeah, it's usually a good idea.
If you don't have another job, make sure that your plan B or your side hustle has become enough to make it your hustle, or you've saved enough money, or you have very wealthy parents. Because short of any of that, you are up deep shit because you have bills to pay. People get so emotionally wrapped up in the reason why they're leaving, and sometimes they forget because they're so emotionally charged that they actually have responsibilities.
Yeah, no, you gotta be smart. You gotta think ahead. And, speaking of responsibilities, I think it's interesting that Kevin Cruz, who was actually on episode 72, I don't even know what date that was. It had to be over a year ago, right?
How'd you even know? Did you just look that up?
I did. I've got them all down here in the notes, and in my OneNote digital notebook, I just type in Kevin Cruz, and it's right
amazing.
Here. It was actually productivity and time management. He's a best-selling author, Kevin Cruz, and he had a recent article in Forbes magazine and Forbes online, I guess, and they talk about Netflix. Now, I was not familiar with this, but Netflix apparently has very few rules, right? Like their employees, they have very few rules, and one of the big things they talk about is freedom and responsibility within the job. Now, here's what's really interesting about it, because what they say is they hire the right people because they want to have fewer rules, right? And so they have worked the structure of everything they do around having the fewest rules possible. And as if they have the right people in the right positions, they don't need the rules.
Because I agree with this.
You think about stupid rules, like anybody that's gotten a big HR book, right? This is our rules, and this is what you're supposed to do. And what they point out is that many of those rules are built for the, let's say, 3 to 8% of employees who are going to not know that ahead of time or not do, inappropriate, sexual conduct.
Does there need to be a rule? I'm not saying there shouldn't be a rule, but does there need to be a rule on sexual harassment? Does there need to be that rule? Fuck no. Don't do it. It's the stupidest thing that you could possibly do, and it's just going to lead you into trouble. But is the guideline, what is considered sexual harassment?
And that's it exactly. Like, I think obviously you should say, hey, look, don't sexually harass and don't, your fellow employees. But a lot of companies have very specific rules of the definitions of those things. And the reason they have to have those definitions is because they don't have employees that are gonna know inherently what is right and what is wrong. And it's just so interesting, and it makes so much sense because at Netflix, they need much less management just because they hire the right people up front.
Well, so let's take an example of this. So there's no rule that says you can't drink in the office. So you'll have people that will drink in the office, and that is okay. Now, the people that want to abuse that are people that they weren't going to hire to begin with.
And that's it exactly. Well, not only that, but how about maybe they've hired the wrong person and they didn't realize until later. Right?
Okay.
So very interesting again with Netflix is they have encouraged a community, and they've encouraged a culture where not only do they hire the right people, but they also try to push out low performers. Where basically they say, hey, look, sometimes we make mistakes. And you know what? If somebody is not the right person, we don't want to keep them around. Here, check this out, Doug.
Yeah.
Two of the things that they do. Okay. First of all, they have.
So is this up for discussion? Like, if it's not right, I'm just going to disagree with you.
Oh, of course. Always.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
So two of the things they do. First of all, they have no vacation limits. Basically, you take whatever vacation you want. You take as many days or as few days as you want. The only rule is if you are going, like specific things like accountants, right? They said if you're in the accounting department, you can't be out like the beginning of the quarter or the end of the quarter or whenever you're really needed, right? But other than that, they say if you plan on taking more than 30 days in a row off, you should go talk to HR before doing that. And think about it. It's funny. When I was working with Washington Talent, right? Robert and I never had a specific agreement of how much vacation I would take because he knew I wasn't going to abuse that privilege. I'm there. I'm working. I want to be there.
Well, let me put it into terms that any entrepreneur would understand. If you own your own business, you're not going to do that.
Of course.
You're not like I could not leave my business for 30 days. It would be suicide for this business. It would go down the tubes faster than anything else. I mean, it's true. It's like, okay, well, how would I act if I owned Netflix? How would I act as the owner? Would I want to go? Would I want to treat people like shit? Would I want to show up drunk? Would I want to, if I want to come in at 3 a.m, that's great, and I can do my job from 3 a.m. until, 3 p.m. If I want to go after that and not show up for 3 or 4 days, that's fine too. But I wouldn't not show up and not call. People want to know where you are.
Well, but what's interesting to me is the lengths that they have gone to. Like, I think the no vacation one is a great one. They also have, they don't do expense reports. Basically what they say is, whatever company money you spend, as long as it is in the best interest of Netflix, we trust you. So you spend whatever money they want to spend. Now, do people look these over sometimes? Yes. And are they going to talk to people? Yes. But there's no hard and fast rule of, hey, this is what you got to do, and this is the place you can eat, and the place you can stay.
But you're 100% right. It comes down to, did you hire the right person? Like the guy that's going to go out and buy, and treat 5 of his friends that don't work for Netflix to a lobster dinner is not the guy you want working for Netflix anyway. And you're going to be fired. I'm assuming that's not like you get hired like a government job and they can't fire you.
Right. No, that's it exactly. And I just think the vacation rules it's such a great, it's just a great one to highlight because think about employees that you've known. Now I know you have run your own business for a long time, but a lot of people, let's say at Washington Talent or other companies.
Yeah.
Think about the people that take a lot of days off or that they take a lot of vacations. Can you think of any specific example of a person that does that you feel is really an amazing employee and that they belong in the job? Or do you think most of those people are the ones that are like, you know what? They're really not that great for the job anyway.
Well, it's all about hiring the right people for the job. And the people that abuse the privilege, any of those things that you had just talked about, whether it's vacation or sick time or drinking on the job or how they treat their fellow employees, any of that stuff, if you've hired the wrong people, they're going to screw you anyway. So regardless of whether you have a policies and procedures manual, Strick, you hit it on the nose. It's probably that couple of percentage points that the policies and procedures manuals are written for anyway.
It's the 80-20 rule, which goes with everything. 80% of your productivity comes from 20% of your personnel. And in this case, I think it's a situation of 80% of the rules are written for 20% or less of the people because you have to regulate those few. I wonder if Netflix has the kind of relationships at their company, like who's the company? Zappos just did it with when they don't have there's no management. It's everybody is in an equal position. Right. I don't think they have that at Netflix. I don't know a lot of the details, but I don't know how I don't know. I like that environment. I mean, I like the idea of that environment. If you have a bunch of leaders that are all working together and everybody has their own specialty and the things that they can do. I mean, everybody's got their own personality and their own specialty anyway, but it's got to be really challenging when you work in an environment that doesn't have any level of management, when you're somebody that needs an ultra amount of guidance. They had to have changed a lot of their hiring practices as a result of that, I would think. Well, and as usual, it gets down to hiring the right people right up front. And I know we beat that one with a dead horse, so we probably should move on, but it's so important. It's so good. I saw the article from Kevin Cruz and I thought, man, that really hits the nail on the head.
I don't know if you beat somebody with a dead horse or if you beat a dead horse.
Okay.
Well,
you got like 27 other topics on your list this week too that we haven't gotten to. So let's throw a dart and pick another one.
I was at a family barbecue over Labor Day holiday. Mm-hmm. It's very interesting, and you probably have this nice guy community. I know you have this because if you go to a barbecue and it's with family members that you don't necessarily hang out with all the time, there is that interesting dynamic of the people that are in that. You know, you always have, like my brother Richard. I have a biological brother. His name is David, and I have a stepbrother and a stepsister, Richard and Nancy. And Richard's kind of a low key kind of guy when he's out of his environment. Like if he comes over to my house, and he is talkative, and he's a great guy, and he's a very successful guy and a business owner and stuff. But when he comes to my house for dinner or anything, you know, he'll be like real low key and behind the scenes, but I noticed, and Danielle, my wife, had pointed out this about Richard when he's at his own house, is that he will make it a point, and this is so great because this fits totally into the theme of this entire week of relationships. When the barbecue is at his house, he will make sure that he makes it around to everybody to say a couple of words. I think that's kind of cool. I really do. I think that's kind of fun. But then there's the whole family dynamic of, you know, there's always those people that are in your family that you really, or maybe they're like married into the family. You don't really know them.
Okay. Yeah.
or how to treat them or react to them, or you don't really know what they're all about. You know, is there ever that level of discomfort that you have with, like, do you have barbecues at your house ever?
Not very often. I mean, in our family, everybody really gets along. You know, sometimes you got like that really weird cousin, or they're like,
I'm not saying that,
but I mean, and it's, you know, yeah.
I'm not saying that we don't get along with them. I'm just saying, I don't really like the in-laws to be, or the just in-laws where, oh, hey, you know, so the spouse invites their parents to come or their cousins to come, and you're like, who the fuck's this? You know, it's like, I don't really know who this is, but they're okay. And then like 5 or 10 minutes goes by in the barbecue, and you haven't introduced yourself to you, so you're feeling like maybe I could skate through this whole barbecue and not introduce myself.
I think you're thinking way too hard on this, Doug. I hate all the politics of all that crap. You know, I've worked for companies where there's a lot of that, and like, I just don't give a shit. So you're right. I don't know. I know what you're saying, and I felt that dynamic, but I don't really care. I don't stress about it.
No, I guess I'm not stressing about it, but it's like,
it sounds like you are. You're bringing it up on the show.
I'm bringing up a topic that I'm sure that nobody has this family dynamic. Like when you're driving in the car to go to another family member's barbecue, isn't always one of the questions, who's going to be there?
Yeah.
Don't you want to know who's going to be there?
Just
and what's the other question? Yes. What are they serving?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get sometimes you get some weird food. I had some weird food last night. I did. I just had some weird food.
Did they have regular food too?
No, I just want the regular food.
Right.
Like my son's just like I am. My son is just like, can you just serve me hamburgers and hot dogs and just give me some ketchup or mustard or whatever it is? Give me the roll. Give me some chips or fries or whatever. But
nobody's forcing you to eat the weird fancy shit. I mean, like if it's a dinner party and you got the weird fancy shit for the entree.
It's not like I want to go from my barbecue to go get something to eat. I want to be able to eat. I want to be able to eat at the barbecue.
So what's the problem? I mean, you had the fancy shit, right? But you're telling me that they also had hamburgers and hot dogs.
No, they didn't. Right? They did. I want the hamburgers and hot dogs.
Oh, wait a minute. So you're saying there was a barbecue and there were it wasn't like fancy shit plus hamburgers.
Well, all right. Let me give you some insider information just about me. Nice Guy community, you don't know this about me, and this will be the first time I've said this, and it's no big deal, but I'm lactose intolerant. So for me, and nobody really, that's not considered a legitimate thing, I guess.
Okay.
So if you're having so you have meat, right? You'll have meat, and I'm a meatitarian, so I'll eat meat.
Okay.
But then if everything else fucking has cheese or milk or cream in it, and I don't want to eat it because I don't want to feel sick the rest of the night, I'm like, I'm not going to eat it. So they're like, oh, you don't eat like cheese or dairy. I'm like, no, I've been lactose intolerant pretty much all my life, guys.
Okay, but so did they have burgers and hot dogs? Let's get right back to the core.
No.
What did they have? What the fuck is a barbecue without burgers and hot dogs? Okay, Doug, now we're finally getting to the point, okay? Right. Now it makes sense. You got a fucked up family. I don't think you're allowed to call it a barbecue if you don't have hamburgers or hot dogs.
I agree. I will give you the bell on that one. 100%. I think if you're having a barbecue, unless you say, here is the stuff that we're having, you are not you were not allowed to not have hamburgers and hot dogs, correct?
Oh, I'm totally with you on that. You see, I didn't get the whole idea that
Sorry,
they
I thought I
only
was making
had
my
weird fancy shit.
I mean, I was originally getting into the conversation to talk about the family dynamic and the relationships, but yeah, let's talk about
interesting.
Let's talk about the food that's at the barbecue. So yeah, so
Nice Guy
everything.
community, has anybody ever been to a barbecue where they didn't have hamburgers and hot dogs, right?
Well, I wouldn't go there because some people do serve steaks, or they might serve flank steak, or they might serve chicken or something.
Steaks or chicken is okay too, but okay. So what did they have that was weird shit that was like all dairy crap?
Well, okay. So my sister-in-law, she did a good job of preparing it, and it was beautiful. And I feel like a total asshole for even saying anything about it. But nobody in my family listens to it, so it's fine.
So what did she make?
So there was some potato salad that had.
Okay, no, wait a minute. Just stop for 1 second. You see, mayonnaise turns my stomach. Right?
Okay. Well,
so like potato salad, tuna salad. I mean, any of the salad ones, and I get the same thing.
Okay.
Right? Like I don't need any of those, and obviously that's a staple.
So that would have been some.
Would have been something I would totally avoid. And if they only had potato salad and macaroni salad and all that, I'd have nothing to eat. So go ahead.
So you wouldn't have eaten either.
Apparently
so
not.
They had that. Then they had some. It was like this cream of corn, like souffle kind of thing. It wasn't as gross as cream of corn. It was just, but it was.
Okay, but it was a souffle.
Obvious
that
to
you
me
put in
that
the oven.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely, and obvious to me that it was chock full of cream or milk or cheese or something, and shit, I can't remember what the other thing was that they had. I don't know if my wife is awake. I would ask her. There was something else that they had, and again.
But that was like the entree was like this souffle. That was the
no. The entree was flank steak, so I could eat the steak.
Okay,
the steak was good, but that was it. That was all I could eat.
Okay.
I go to my family barbecues not for the food. I go for the family. So if there's going to be people at the family barbecue that I don't necessarily know, I need to know this information ahead of time. I have to physically prepare myself.
Okay, now here we go. Now we're getting again down to the core of it. Nice Guy community, I want you all to give us feedback if you think I am being too harsh with Doug, if I am wrong on this. Right. But we had a discussion about 5 minutes ago about, Doug, why does it matter? Is it important? And you said it's not. It's not. Apparently it is, because you just said if there's going to be people that we don't know.
Just want to know a little bit. I just want to know. Just give me a little information ahead of time. Just a little reconnaissance. I'm horrible with names. Just give me names. I just don't remember everybody's names. These are people in my family.
Okay. You see, and that's the difference between you and me, right? I don't give a fuck. And I'm going to forget the names, and I'm going to tell them, say, hey, I'm horrible with names. And you know what else? I mean, if they really are part of the family, I'm going to ask somebody else. Hey, what's his name? I'm not proud.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I could. But
we had a lovely time. I'm like,
we had a lovely time. We had a lovely time.
Except that you could only eat flank steak.
Oh God! If she listens to this podcast, she's gonna kill me. You know what? Okay, it's fine.
If you guys hadn't figured it out yet, Doug is the slightly neurotic one, and I just don't give a shit.
Maybe that's what it is. I mean, I do enjoy. It was a good holiday weekend. Oh, hey, so I took my my motorcycle out with Howie. You know Howie?
Yeah.
Howie. So I went out with Howie, and he's a cool dude. He talks about girls too much, though.
Oh yeah.
Howie is our single friend. Everybody's got that 45-year-old single guy friend in their life, and if you don't, Howie is the quintessential New Yorker that's got the best New York accent that you could possibly imagine. He is all about the women, and it's just so funny. And he's asking me my opinion, and he gives me too much. You got one of those guys that, do you have like a filter when you talk to other guys about shit? Just like.
Totally depends on the guy. Oh, yeah. Big time. Totally depends on the guy.
Okay. So, Howie and I don't hang out a lot, so I don't really know a lot about him personally. Yeah. I mean, he's a nice guy.
He knows the definition of filter.
No, he has no filter. No filter at all. And I didn't know. like, I don't know. Are you expected to respond to somebody like that? Are you like, it's supposed to relate? Like, I'm not giving up the personal information that he's giving up.
Right. No, I'm with you. Howie is definitely that guy. Is this where your topic of the morning after pill comes in?
Maybe, I don't know. No, Howie had no information. I have no reconnaissance about him on that morning.
I'm still trying to figure out how that made it on the list of topics. So.
I don't know. I was thinking about birth control, and I don't remember why I was even thinking about birth control, but it ended up part of the whole relationship topic. You know what it was? I was listing everything I could list about personal and professional relationships. Yeah. And one of the things on the personal relationship list was birth control, because that's always a subject that's really challenging to talk about if you're like new in a relate. Like, isn't that an awkward conversation? I mean, I haven't had to have that conversation in a really long time.
I know, right? It's been so many years since I've had to have it. I don't even.
But I can imagine that conversation people tend to be a little bit more. Part of it, I remember. I think Howie's a little bit loose.
Oh my gosh, yes.
It might be a little bit easy. So I don't know. Just the whole conversation, just very interesting. Very interesting.
Definitely important to know your audience, know your customer, know your friends. You got to know who is on the other side of the conversation, because you're right. I mean, Howie is such a great example, because Howie's a really good guy. He's really fun, but really he is like guy's guy. And he just talks about, who he's dating and what he's done and what he's thinking. And he has no filter. And, sometimes you got to be like, okay, Howie. Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Appreciate the info.
No, man, I don't really do that anymore. Been married 18 years, but it's all good. I'm glad you're still having fun. It's all good.
All right, so let me give you some of the stats, because I want to tell you what's been going on. So we are now this month. Let me see where we're heading this month. We are going to be somewhere in the area of 150,000 downloads by the end of this. Oh, totally. We're definitely going to be over 150 downloads by the end of this episode, by the end of this month, which is going to be great. Is the format that we're going to hang out in the 5 episode range for the next?
I think we're going to keep doing that. We're going to give it a shot. It's going to be Monday and Friday interviews, and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday with us, and we got to get Steve O'Brien to record more drops to talk about that.
I've been enjoying the new, we record a couple of episodes at a time thing, because you can kind of keep the same mojo going.
I do too. I really like it. I like it. And I think the shorter episodes are better. I would find it hard to believe that a majority of our listeners were sticking around for an hour and 30, an hour and 40 minutes as we ramble on.
Episode 200, if it's any indication of how people actually are, you're dead wrong about that.
Oh my God. Well, 200 is like really long.
Okay, so of all of the episodes, just so you know, I don't know if you've been tracking the statistics of all of the episodes that we've done, that in first day totals is the number 3. And the fact that we went, what was it, 2.5 hours?
Interesting. Well, but you know what's interesting though? Like, downloads they're not always an indicator of how long somebody is listening. I mean, clearly the episode 200 is a specialty episode, and we talked about it and everybody probably wanted it, but it doesn't mean they necessarily listened to all 2 hours of it.
No, you're probably right. You probably got a lot of people that don't even listen to us anymore.
I'm okay as long as they keep downloading. I prefer that they listen, but you know what? As long as they download, it's all good.
No, I want to provide quality content to a good audience.
I do too, but you know what? If you don't give us feedback, listeners, Nice Guy community, our Funkin' fans, the more feedback we get, the better, because we want to provide you with the highest quality podcast experience possible.
All right, Strick, I think we should wrap this episode up unless you got any final words of wisdom.
No, my final words of wisdom, I'm going to go grab a pizza. It's all good.
No, enjoy the rest of your time in Las Vegas. Please come home. Please come home safely, because we have a kingdom to conquer over here. Nice Guy community, never underestimate the power of nice. Wow, great week, a great guest, great special guest, Sunny Lake, and Dr. Karen for being on the show as well. Next week, we're going to have more fun with Sunny. We're going to get Laura back on the show. We're going to get Dr. Karen on the show probably as well. And Stacey Sherman, we're going to get her on the show as well.
I'm calling everybody Stephanie Sursland. Sunny, Stacey, everybody is.
Be happy you've given her a shout out. We went the entire week almost without giving her a shout out. So, Stephanie, thank you. Love you, baby. All right, Strick, talk to you soon. Nice Guy community. Steve O'Brien, go ahead and take us out of here.
For the Nice Guys on Business, I'm Steve O'Brien. Do you think they could have rambled on any longer today? Blah-bitty, 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 blah.